a another hot day, just like yesterday, up in the mid 80s, but it's supposed to cool down. And we got 60s coming this week, and then another 80, and then next week a little cooler again. And hopefully we can go to Florida, so and leave my garden and let it be. So I'm going to start going through a run through of what I've done in the last couple weeks and show everybody. So here we go. All right, let's go up here on these cabbages that wouldn't cooperate. These cabbages were starting to bloom. They weren't putting heads on, so I cut some of the foliage. And today I tried it in our hot pot. I would drop it in a soup solution and let it boil for a couple minutes, and then I would add it to the meat and the other vegetables, and it turned out pretty good. So even though it didn't work out and make cabbage, I got use out of it. So I'm happy with that. And let's go over here. This first row is peppers. I started these in the house over the last few months, and I'm not really sure what is what. I used some seeds from a bell pepper, and I dried them out, and then I planted some. I also had some serrano pepper seed. So it's probably a mix of each, but I don't know exactly which ones are which. So we'll see how it goes. And we'll have peppers of some sort. And the next row is tomatoes. I also started these in the house, and they're looking pretty good. They're small. The ones down here are bigger. I put the bigger ones down here where there's less sun, so as we get going through the spring, they'll probably even out. Those up there get more sun because of the trees shade down here quite a bit. So that's the plan. And the next row is cabbage, and I hope they cooperate. Usually the spring cabbage. We got 13 viewers, and Jacob Kaheda says hi, hello. We'll come and chat some more. All right, and more cabbage, and I got a lot of cabbage planted, so we'll see what I can do with them. And here is some potatoes, and this is a later planting. I have some bigger ones, as I'll show you, and they're just coming up over here. I didn't have to cover these up during the big freeze we had because they were still underground. And these two rows here for the spoons, this is sweet corn, and I just put that in yesterday, so it'll be another week or so before it comes up. And this is a row here that's really weedy, but I harvested some tomatillo seed, and this is a thick spot here. Here's another group of them. So I'll have a row of tomatillos, and that one's a real thick gob. Those pods were hard to break up, and they end up with a big old pile of them. So they're really weedy. I'm gonna have to wait until they kind of show themselves a little more, and I'll weed them, and I might dig some up and move to thin areas. So that's the tomatillos. 6 viewers. Okay, how did you know it's midnight in Poland? Oh, it is, yeah. Well, we've been, this time last year, at this time, we were in Australia, And I did even for it was roughly 3 weeks. And I garden anyway. I said I got everything ready and I got everything planted, and it turned out good. My son had to cover some tomatoes and other things when there was a chance for frost. So I know what it's like to be 12 hours off there. So it would be midday in Australia, and here it would be midnight. So that's kind of cool. So let's see. Judith the Goat, 50. Can you be quiet? Well, you can watch my other videos from the 80s and, was it 80s and 90s? I don't talk in those. All right, I'll try to be less like done hosts. Happy day. There's another hi. Well, everybody said hello. I'm glad I got some viewers. I just decided to come out here and do a video because I've done a lot of planning the last couple days, and we just had hot pot, and it was delicious, using things from the garden. And we used our last onions from last year, last white onions. That was a sad day. The last of the white onions until about July. So next, here is the earliest potatoes I planted. And this one here's the biggest of that group. And I thought it froze. It did nip it a little bit, but when I uncovered it the other day, it had a very bruised look, but it come out of it good. And here, they're all up. Let's see, I think there's a dozen. There's 2 rows of 6. And they're all up, ready to roll. And I've watched other people's videos, and they're just thinking of planting. No, this is actually 3 rows of 6. This is 18. And I think this first row might be Kennebecs, and these others are reds. 3 thumbs up, that's great. Like and subscribe. And it's very comfortable out right now. It's around 80, fairly dry for Tennessee, and a nice little breeze. It just feels so comfortable. And here, this first row, these are 4 rows of onions. This first row is red sweet onions. I saw these at Rural King, and I'm going to give them a try. See if they do well. They look well. They look good. And this next row is Georgia sweet onions, and they look terrific. And this next row, these next 2 rows are white onions. Like I was said before, the white onions, we just used up the last of our white onions, and there won't be any more white onions for 2 or 3 months. But these sweet onions get ripe earlier, so we'll be getting sweet onions here shortly, a month or 2. And this next row, this is an interesting thing. Yeah, that looks like these little plants here. That looks like a Napa cabbage. I got to thin them out and move them around. And I thought this seed I planted of Napa wasn't very viable, and it turned out it just grew like, that looks like Napa too. Okay, the Napa. I thought I planted in this row here, I planted seed that looked better. It was better looking seed, but it hardly come up. And this is bok choy, and I only see 3 seeds from that. So I don't know what's going on. The bok choy seed's no good, while the Napa grew. So next here, there's a couple cabbages interspersed with, I think those are going to bloom out too. And I'll have to cut leaves and just make do with them. That one probably also. Now, I forgot to tell about this. In this white onion row, there's a sweet onion that I missed digging up, and I just left it there, and then I planted onions just around it, so it looks like an onion row. 2 viewers. Oh, can you plant? You can plant more vegetables. Well, I'm pretty much out of room. Springtime is a good time to plant. Okay, there's some joking going around. A lot of bowel movement stuff going on. Wow, what a nice place. Well, thank you. It's Leone Areola 4562. Well, thanks for coming in. And yeah, right. Okay, well, if you eat enough garden, you'll certainly get a lot of that happening. Okay, California. Right, how's it? Is it hot out there in Cali? We've been to California in the spring, and it was very nice, quite mild. And next year are some purple sweet potatoes, and I started them in the what I do last year had the plants, and I clipped like 4-inch clippings, and I just stick them in a pot and keep them watered, and they'll germinate and grow. And they grew in the house all winter, and they're back out here again. So oh, the Philippines, yes. My sister-in-law is from the Philippines. Oh, in California. All right. Yeah, Filipinos know how to cook. They know how to cook. Weather is fine in California. All right. Okay. I'm going to just show this. Now, maybe I'll go over the fence. Oh, I don't want to walk around. I'll get a good look. Now, here is some more white onions. And I got these in these raised beds that I made from logs, from trees I cut down. This is the neighbor's yard, and I take advantage. Boy, someone needs to get out there and mow the lawn. I might have to do it before the end of the week. In the next bed, there's I put in, I think there's 18 red potatoes, and they did pretty good in this down here. Where these onions were, I had potatoes last year. They did relatively well, and they were a little bit scabby, and I'm trying them again and see if they won't be as scabby, because the soil's kind of broken down a little bit. So we'll see. Next here, I don't know what this is. It looks like a pepper. Oh, there's actually a cabbage, one of the cabbage family type plants, and it's probably a bok choy or a Napa cabbage. And here's another one that could be a cabbage. See, I planted my starter plants, and I labeled them, and then when I watered the plants, the labels washed off the containers, so it's a mystery on some of these plants. That looks like maybe a Napa. That looks more cabbagey. These here are cabbages. They look great. Cabbages. I just transplanted these out yesterday, and this here looks a little bit more Napa. No viewers. Okay, I'll talk to myself. And here is broccoli, and my wife likes broccoli in the hot pot, so I'm going to grow her some broccoli. As long as I keep spraying that Captain Jack's on it, it should do fine, and they look terrific. And here's another cabbage, and it's starting to burst here. it's got a blossom in there. So I'm gonna have to cut the head off and take it in and use it. So last year I grew cabbage over the winter, and I've had better luck. I had better performance out of fewer cabbages, and now I just have a bunch of cabbages want to bloom. And next here is white onions, more white onions, because they like the white onions in the hot pot, so I got more onions this year. And my biggest problem might be is storing them when they're ripe. They got a real good start. They came into Rural King quite early, and soon as I got one viewer. Weather, okay. Next, I got some tomatoes. I got 8 tomatoes in this last raised bed. And these, I love these raised beds. I used a lot of waste material, rotten logs and limbs and all kinds of stuff, just scraping off the ground. And then you try to find a little bit of soil and add some mulches and stuff. And there you go. You got a little garden. Okay, I'm going to go up to the main garden. I need to weed these weeds here. I hope I have enough water for the rest of the week. Okay. Now next is some leaf lettuce, and I planted this from seed I harvested off of. I think this is like the 4th generation of that seed, and I just keep harvesting the seed, and I plant it, and it grows like crazy. And let's see, and next here is peas, and this is what you see here is more. This is the second planting. The first planting, I think we got 2 plants out of it, and I think they may have died. I can't remember. But then yesterday I put in between these plants, I put in more seed. So it's pretty thin. I want to try peas again. I'm from South Dakota, where peas, that's more of a climate for peas. And I'm trying to get it a decent crop in Tennessee, and see if I can grow peas down here. I've gotten more sunlight because of the tree cuttings, and I just wanted to see if peas are viable to grow. And here are some beans. These are climbing beans, and I have to replant them too. These are the beans I like. I just want a good population. I think I have 11 plants, and that's about enough, because they climb the fence and they go all over. But I want a good chance of getting as many as possible. So I put some more in, and those were like Mama's beans that when she passed, I got her bean collection out of her freezer. So that was nice, and I'm experimenting with beans every year. All right, this is another white onion row. And here's more cabbage. I would just take a pinch of seeds and put in pots, and it's like, I think every one of them germinated, and I'll just plant them all. And every one I planted, not these big cabbages, every one I transplanted out here grew. There was a couple that are really, I forgot to water them, and they looked really sick, but they snapped out of it eventually, and they grew. Now here in the middle is cabbages I planted last summer in pots, and I transplanted them. I think I had them over there with those others, and I got 3 here. These are got heads on them, so I got some with heads. This one bloomed out, and I trimmed it and used it. And this one looks like another bloomer, so I'm going to have to cut that and trim it. This one's already been trimmed out, and this one here has got a cabbage, so I might only have like 4 cabbages out of the whole effort. But these were all clustered together in one hill, and I didn't want 7. There's 7 here, right? I didn't want 7 cabbages growing together, so I dug them up and I separated the roots, and I got them all to grow. So, and these cabbages are also from seed. Also from seed that I harvested. And this one looks, what is that, Jersey? No, that's not a Jersey. This looks like a Jersey Wakefield. And that one at the end looks like a Jersey Wakefield. And these are looking like, that's a good looking cabbage. And these look more like, they might be from a different seed. They might be from, it might be a cross. I don't see any flat Dutch. I have a lot of flat Dutch seed, and I don't see any flat Dutch characteristics with these cabbages. And next is carrots with a lot of weeds. I'm going to go to where there's a there. That's a lot of carrots here. This looks pretty good population, and there'll be enough. They're really thick here in the middle. At the top there's hardly any that I can see. This is a good population there, but right at the top end of the row I don't see really none. But I do see a cabbage, most likely a cabbage, so that'd be something to leave that, use that spot up, so that'd be good in the right place. And here is more Georgia sweet onions. This is the third year I grew them, and I've looked at some pictures from 2 years ago, and these onions are like a month or so ahead. They're like bigger than they were the ones I planted a couple years ago. So I hope I get bigger onions. And next is my very bad corn start. This is the first corn I grew. I think these 2 up here, 2 hills, these are the, what is it, Golden Bantam. It's an early corn. And these next 2, there's one there. There's one plant there. But I plant 4 seeds to get 3 stalks. And there's 3 of these hills that have none. But yesterday I put in more corn. I put in treated corn. It's the pink corn. And just hope it works. I went to the co-op and I got some corn a few weeks ago, and the co-op corn has given me no trouble growing, so I expect it to do pretty well. And this is my goal. These are probably not the Golden Bantam. It's another variety. And there's 3 here. There's 2 there. There's 1 there. There's 1 there. There's enough in this area to really pollinate. I'll do a little bit of hand pollinating, but once they get big, there's enough of a population to pollinate fairly well. This is 2 there. 2 there. There's 1. So I think I counted 22 out of, 4 times 8, 8 times, no, it's 16. 22, 16. Yeah, it's about a little bit over 1 per hill, which is a disaster. But there's enough there. I've had other years where I would grow old seed corn, and I would get a thin population. I just keep hammering it. I keep on bringing in more seed and trying to grow something. Okay, next here, this is a blank area. I forgot to tell about this other blank area. It was up, it's where the sweet potatoes were, and between that and the more cabbage stuff. And that's going to be my third planting of corn. But here, there's a place. Oh, this is a legitimate head of cabbage. This is going to be a head. Looks good. And these are blooming. And this one here, it kind of looks like a head. I have to watch it. Okay, here, up top here, I'm going to put in cantaloupe. That's a good sunny area. And then I'm going to grow zucchini and was it butternut squash? And I use the butternut squash in pumpkin pie. I'll use a pumpkin pie recipe, and it's actually pretty damn good. It's very compatible, or tastes like pumpkin. And okay, next here is another potato row. And this was I think this was the second potato batch I planted. I think there's 8 here. They've all come up. But this building shades this area in the afternoon. So it doesn't get much light or heat. So these ones here where there's more shade are smaller, and as you go up here where there's more sun, they're a little bit bigger, especially this one up top. And next is a row of tomatoes. This is I put these out. I think I put these out. Oh, I put these out March 1st, I think. And I had to really cover them last week to keep them from freezing. And the chickens have been the neighbor's chickens got out several times, and they come over here and kick these dead leaves, and they would bury them, and I had to uncover them. And I'm still kind of worried about the chickens getting out again. So I left these little, this mesh wire over the top, so maybe they won't, if they do get out, they won't bury the tomatoes again. And when I covered the tomatoes, I used like a planter cup, and I placed it over the tomato, and I would put the rocks around to keep the cup from, slipping around. And then I buried it in leaves, and it worked. Got down in the mid-20s. The tomatoes survived. And I'm trying these tomatoes in the poorest lighting of the garden next to the building. So about 1-2 p.m., it's shaded out in the middle here, mostly the middle. But I've had tomatoes here before, like volunteer tomatoes and things like that, and they would grow. So I'm trying, as an experiment, starter plants here in probably the worst growing part of the garden. Normally I would grow late corn over here, and it works pretty well. Last year was terrific. I put 3 rows of corn here. And then the neighbors over there, they cut a bunch of trees down. And I also cut trees down over there. So there's great morning sun. And a real good morning sun, but after 1 and 2 p.m., it's no real sun. So, and then I got this tree here. I want one of the limbs, that lower limb, to be cut out, and I got to hook up with that trimmer again. He was real busy in Nashville, and he came back, and he was really covered up with jobs he missed out here. So I'm just gonna have to wait for when he's available and get that done. And he'll drop that limb and I'll just cut up with my saw. I just couldn't reach it with the ladder. All right. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to go around this way. And on this berm, with all this junk is, I'm going to weed it, and I think of putting corn in there at a certain point, or volunteer plants. It just depends on what is around. And I'm coming down here to these a very excellent population. They're kind of hard to see. It's getting darker, but these are turkey craw beans. I got a nice little row, and they're gonna climb the fence, and they look great. Oh, there's an asparagus. Oh, that's one of the new ones. Got an asparagus, and here's another one. These are I planted this seed here last year, and I think I got 3 or 4 that lived. And there's supposed to be asparagus here, but I don't see it yet. Maybe this gets a little more shade. It might be, the ground might be colder yet. So I think that's it. Yeah, I did the garden in just a little over half an hour. And I got this one. Oh, there's another chat. Okay. That same person gave me hugs and 3 YouTube symbols. Why not 4 YouTube symbols? So, very good. Nice little quick video. It's cheaper than, and I got 2 viewers now. Well, if you're late to the game, you're going to have to rewind. I'm going to switch around to myself. I might need a haircut and a shave. And in Jim Miller's garden, I'm going to be doing these. I like doing it on Sundays. And I'll be doing these periodically through the year. And this garden's going to look a lot better once it gets going. That's when people like to watch it. So thanks for watching, and like and subscribe in Jim Miller's Garden. Thanks, and have a great day. Off.